waiting to hear your intervention. And one more thing before starting, if you have any questions, so please post it in the chat section. And once Horst finishes the presentation, we will answer the questions. So thank you and enjoy the Horst presentation. Thank you, Horst.
Thank you very much, Miri, and good morning from my side. I will just share my screen. Yes. So, and we go directly into the topic. We have our thematic webinar for the second call today for new funding possibilities for greening the energy and transport sectors. Well, let's start with what we mean by transnational cooperation. We see this as an instrument of the EU cohesion policy that financially supports cooperation projects beyond national level in all geographically defined areas which are addressing common needs and challenges. It is a complement to the mainstream programs, and it brings together policymakers, academic research, civil society, and private actors. We all know the Danube region. It is a region of diversity and challenges, not only because of so many different countries, but because it is quite heterogeneous in socio-economic and cultural aspects, the natural environment, and it is highly fragmented in political and with administrative approaches. We have 14 countries here, and I think we have the highest number of borders inside the Danube region. The measures of the European Union for a stronger cohesion with accession and neighborhood policies are there to create a unique situation for the better integration of the Danube space and to create an institutional platform for the territorial, economic and social integration, which then shall lead to what we call a region of flows. But now let's go to the topic itself, Danube region and energy. And here we have the Danube region. We have the share of renewable energy in the gross final energy consumption is quite low, and it has never reached 50% in many countries. Notable shares can be mentioned in Montenegro, in Austria, in Croatia, while in Slovakia or Hungary, at the Czech Republic and Germany, renewables play still a minor role compared to traditional fossil fuels as well as nuclear energy. In the majority of the countries, the shares of renewables were stagnating, and an increase occurred only in Germany, Slovakia, and the Czech Republic. Additionally, considering the EU 2020 targets, the member states are performing heterogeneously. In some countries, the target was set low, and thus it has already been reached, while some countries still have to take steps to realize the targets set for 2020. Thus, the Danube region still heavily relies on fossil fuels in relation to both production and consumption, and I will show you some figures later afterwards. Despite of significant favorable changes in many states, the energy sector is very far from being a low carbon economic field, and sustainable production and consumption would require significant shift to renewables in all states, since the share of fossil fuels in production is generally between 80 and 65%. The majority of the Danube region still heavily relies on uncertain supply of fossil fuels from Russia, and this exposure is to non-renewable sources result in energy dependency and lack of energy security. In spite of having a large variety of renewable energy sources across the macro region, which could potentially contribute to safeguarding security of supply with a few similar and complementary endowments from region to region. The utilization or a level of renewables is still low compared to fossil fuels. The production and consumption of renewables have similarities across the macro region, given that biofuels and hydropower are having significant shares, and solar energy, wind, geothermal energy have changing utilization levels. The thermal power plant network is facing inefficient technology and infrastructure. Another reason for a greener energy sector is the high and steadily increasing level of energy consumption, paired with a low level of diversification of energy sources. Therefore, the support for harmonized actions and transnational cooperation on renewable energy is required in order to decarbonize the energy and the related transport and building sector, especially considering the heating and cooling system of buildings. The still relatively high greenhouse gas and air pollutants emissions by the transport sector within the territory of the European Union calls for increasing utilization of alternative fuels and new technologies. High greenhouse gas emissions is caused also by the heating and cooling sector, which is still characterized by low utilization of RES, requiring a profound shift to a more environmentally friendly energy production and consumption. So this is what we identified as the status quo of the Danube region when it comes to energy, and here we define the needs and challenges. And so we decided to open these funding opportunities for renewable energy sources with our specific objective 2.1 with the title Support Greening the Energy and Transport Sectors in the Danube region by enhancing the integration of renewable energy sources. And this brings us to our needs and challenges, and I already mentioned it at the slide before. I will show you some figures. The left one is about the territorial differences in total primary energy productions. This is taken from CESCI from the report from 2012 to 2016, and the right figure shows you the share of renewable energy in gross final energy consumption for between 2014 and 2017. So you see we have a huge variability and a huge difference inside the Danube region, and this is what we want to tackle. All power systems are based on fossil fuels, which reach at least 60% in each country. The energy dependence in several countries is higher than the EU average of 53.6%, such as in Germany, Austria, Slovakia, and Hungary. The share of renewables in gross final energy consumption is low and has never reached 50% in any countries. In the majority of the countries, the share was stagnating or significantly decreasing. And as a result of underutilized renewables, energy dependency, lack of high energy safety characterizes the Danube region that still heavily relies on fossil fuels. An increased use of renewable energy sources for energy production and sustainable transport may contribute to a better air quality, and thus the shift towards renewables is crucial. Here we define our two focuses. The first focus is on the increase of the share of renewable energy in the Danube region, and thus supporting the diversification of energy sources. And our second focus is led on decreasing the carbon intensity in the power and transport sectors. What are possible types of activities we think of? We think of possibly strategy making and policy support in reaching low carbon energy production and supporting the decrease of energy dependency in countries and regions most dependent on fossil fuels and resources from external energy markets. We think on capacity building for sustainable energy planning, especially in regions with high share of non-renewable energy sources energy production or consumption. We think of support for harmonized, cost-effective actions and transnational cooperation in the buildings, heating and cooling sector. We think of a reduction of greenhouse gas and air pollutants emissions in the transport sector. So this means introduction of alternative fuels and new technologies in transportation and innovative mobility solutions. Support shift to more environmentally friendly means of transportation, especially in public transport and freight transport on waterways, rails, roads, coordination between energy providers in relation to infrastructure elements. We think of joint planning of solutions for the utilization of RES with the facilitation of knowledge exchange between regions of the lowest and the highest share of RES in the energy mix. And we also think of the development of incentive schemes to encourage the renewable energy production based on the Danube region available resources and to strengthen the sustainable usage of RES and energy storage solutions. One important question here is, besides what we would like to have, is of course what we do not finance. And these are just some points where you just to give you an example and just to give you a view what is not on our focus. So projects not being clearly embedded in the territorial scope such projects and such proposals are impossible for us to finance, or projects not involving countries of different level of innovation capacities, or projects with a predominant focus on infrastructure, or project with a predominant focus on mere technical solution development without ensuring its application by target users. So this means we want you to create impact. We want you to create visible, feelable, tangible impact. And what we also don't finance are projects with a predominant focus on research and data collection activities without translating the outcomes into applied solutions, and or policy strategies plans still within the project. So even here, please create impact. And we are not financing projects missing a clear focus and potential on closing the innovation gap in the Danube region. Concerning the partnership, well, the rules stayed the same since the first call. Our minimum requirement is that a transnational project shall have at least 3 partners, and one of these 3 shall be and must be one EU member state. The integration of non-EU countries is of utmost importance, as this is part of the quality check of your proposals. And with Interreg funds, so we brought together all kinds of funds to funds, and that facilitates of non-EU partners. The lead partnership state is basically open for all partners. Restrictions concerning SMEs and profit-making SMEs, and unfortunately still up to date. We can't accept Ukrainian partners as the Ukraine is still governed by martial law. Some examples of the partnership. Yes, the local level has to be brought in because it's responsible for the provision and the delegation of local issues. Don't forget the regional level, as it is relevant for the regional development, innovation structures, and acts in some cases. Please add also the national level, as it is especially relevant for legislation and for decision-making processes that can possibly be highly responsible for the overall implementation of your idea. And what you also could think of is a transnational private social investor complements in the ASB partnership. Concerning the project, we have a total budget of 230 million euros for the entire program for all kind of calls. We put, as I told you before, we put everything together in a so-called Interreg fund. The maximum EU contribution is 80%. So this means everything what is then later claimed as a cost, so you will receive 80% back of that cost. Already spent, so 50% of the overall budget are already reserved for the first call for proposals. This is quite sure. And the allocated total budget for specific objective 2.1 is then 18 million euros so far. Please follow the developments here. So regularly watch the website of the Danube Region Program about general information, about Danube Program documents, about like now about the call for proposals announcements. Watch out for DRP events like webinars today or kickoff event or lead applicant seminar. We already have some announcements concerning this. Contact your national contact points. Watch out for national events, for example, National Info Days. Every now and then there's a National Info Day organized by national contact points. You can also contact the DRP project officer, so you can directly write us, drop us an email, or maybe call. And what you also could do is contact your PAC from the European Danube Region Strategy. Yes, now I'm at the end. I'd like to thank you for your attention. As Miri told you, my name is Horst Schindler. I'm the coordinator for energy and transport topics, and I will be happy to answer your questions if there are some. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Horst. It was very clear, understandable, and we do hope that new proposals that will come in will be the one to help us green the energy in the transport sectors. So now we're checking if there are any questions. So good morning to everyone. Yes, here is one. The program.
Well, the results of the first the assessment process of the first call is internally finished. So the report is already finished, but still has to go through the monitoring committee meeting, which takes place starting from the 18th of October. And the MC meeting will then make the decisions concerning the first call project. So after this, we will have another announcement. And after this, we know which projects are now in the next phase. The next phase will then be the discussion with the lead applicants concerning this, and further information. It will then be available after the MC meeting.
Thank you, Horst. It seems that that's it. Do we have any more questions? And just to tell you that this recording, as well as the presentation, will be published on our website most probably tomorrow. So please check it, and there you can go through the recording once again or the presentation.
Okay.
It seems that that you were very clear. So no questions. Then Horst.
Okay.
Shall we say goodbye?
I think for the time being, we could say goodbye. I think most of the things have been said. The audience is now aware of the contact possibilities. Please drop us an email if you have questions. We are here to answer your emails as well, or go to your national contact points. This is also possible. And I think I look forward to receive your applications during the call openings. From my side, thank you very much.
Thank you, Horst. It was really, it was nice. Thank you all for joining us, and we do hope to meet you again.
Okay.
So thank you and have a lovely day.
Bye.
Bye.